There's a lot of people who feel that the computer crime situation is getting better. I claim that it's actually getting worse, and I'm gonna show you exactly why we think that and why it's likely to continue to get worse. My name is Mikko Hyppönen and I'm the Chief Research Officer for F-Secure Corporation. We fight computer viruses every day to protect our users around the world. Here's a chart showing the amount of numbers starting from 1986 when we found the very first PC viruses. And as you can see, over the last 2 years, the growth has been pretty astronomical. And many people don't understand this because they are still thinking back to the large outbreaks with viruses like Slammer and Blaster and Sasser and MyDoom and Love Letter, which 5, 6, 7 years ago went around the world and infected millions of PCs, becoming front page news all over the world. But viruses have evolved. Today, the virus writers aren't writing viruses for fun. They aren't writing viruses to get to the cover of the magazine. They write viruses to make money. And that changes everything. Now these virus writers are generating much larger amounts of viruses and using them for a very limited amount of time and throwing them away. And that includes millions of new viruses coming into our systems. So the situation seems to be getting better when it actually is getting worse. If we think back 1, maybe 2 years, most of the infections were coming in email attachments. That doesn't work very well today because operators are filtering out malicious attachments. So the attackers have shifted tactics and now it's much more likely to get infected by just surfing the web and happening to end up to a web page which contains an exploit which infects your machine just by visiting the page. A good example of this virus evolution is the Stormworm. Stormworm is an operation done by an unknown Russian gang who's been doing this already for years. They used to send out massive spam runs with infected attachments. But now they've evolved and they're mostly now sending emails which don't contain an attachment at all. Instead, it contains a web link. So you get an email pointing you to a greeting card or a free game, or even something pretty clever like receiving an email which tells to you that did you know that there's a video of you in YouTube? And people get these mails and then they follow the link, which looks like it's going to YouTube when in reality it actually goes to a drive-by download web page which will infect them. And what Stormworm really is all about is infecting large amounts of computers to build a botnet. Now traditionally botnet always have a central server, and it was pretty easy for us to shut down botnets like this. We just locate where the server is and we shut it down and the whole botnet dies. In Storm, there is no central server. In Storm, the infected machines connect to each other, creating a peer-to-peer botnet with no central server at all, which means we can't shut it down. Which also means that all of these machines are not just bots, they're also web servers serving infected web pages to infect even more users. And every time the user downloads a malware from one of these sites, the malware changes. So we would take our machine and connect to one of these infected bots and download the malware multiple times so we can analyze how it changes. But when we do this bot would automatically detect that hey, this guy is downloading the same malware over and over again, he must be an antivirus guy. And this bot would automatically launch an attack against us. It would tell all of his friends and now they would all attack us. And this is something that we've never seen before. We've never before seen a botnet which automatically and aggressively retaliates against anybody who tries to analyze it. This is Mr. Tariq Al-Dawood. He was sentenced in London in United Kingdom with 2 of his partners in crime. What they were doing was that they were distributing Windows Trojans which contained a keylogging component. So on all of the infected machines, they would start to save everything you typed. Every email, every Google search, every password you typed was saved and sent to these guys. But what they were really looking for were online shopping sessions where you would go online to purchase something. Because when you buy something online, you will type into the web form your name, your street address, and your credit card number and the expiration date. And if someone else gets that information, they can use your card. And with this mechanism, these criminals collected 37,000 international credit card numbers. They used those numbers to set up new gaming accounts at online poker gaming sites. They would set up a new account, then set up a new table where all the other players would be their own accounts. And then when they were playing with the stolen card, they were playing badly, losing money on purpose, using online games to launder money. And they took the resulting money back to online shops to buy weird stuff. They were buying stuff like tents, sleeping bags, food ratios, knives, GPS navigational devices, and then they were sending all this gear with couriers to Iraq, to the insurgents in Iraq. Credit card numbers, hologram for credit cards, bank accounts, fabricated passports, pretty much anything's for sale. For example, here somebody's selling bank accounts, most likely collected with a keylogger. So you can see the amount of money in each of these bank accounts, and the guy here is selling it for a fraction of the money on the accounts. And he's selling them because he himself don't have means to cash the money without getting detected. So he's selling it to someone else who can do that. Money mules are internet users who have been recruited by online criminals to move the money for them. For example, here's an email that I received personally from Miss Leila Miller, working for Genève Finance in Switzerland. She's sending me an email where she's offering me a job of a financial manager. Now, of course, this looked suspicious to me, so I replied immediately. I replied, from my work address at fsecure.com, asking them, oh yes, what do I need to do? 2 hours later, I got a reply back from Mr. Olaf Kleinzer from Genève Finance, sending me 2 Word documents and saying, please take a look at these documents. So let's have a look at Mr. Olaf Kleinzer. He's working for Genève Finance, which is in Switzerland. His fax number starts with +1, so it goes to the United States, and his website is at www.geneve.eu.tc. And TC is the country code for the Turk and Cocoa Islands in the West Indies. And if we actually look at the documents themselves, they explain in detail how this company is trying to cut down in international money transaction fees by hiring local financial managers like me. And my job now is to go to a local bank, set up a new bank account and send the account number to them. And then they will be doing money deposits to my account, thousands and tens of thousands of euros. And whenever they do that, they will give me a phone call. So then I have to go to the local bank, pick up the money in cash and wire the money to faraway places like Ukraine or Belarus using untraceable online wiring mechanisms. And I would get to keep 5% as my salary. And many people fall for this without understanding that what they really are doing is laundering money for the criminals. And the people who actually get caught and go to jail for these crimes are typically the money mules, not the actual criminals. I started with a pretty depressing statement, so I want to end with a promise. A promise to continue this fight, to evolve as the threat keeps changing, to protect you, no matter what it takes.